Hi guys, welcome back to Gazmother Education's YouTube channel. For those who might be joining us for the first time, thank you so much for subscribing and for watching this video. At Gazmother Education, what we do is simple. We are empowering and equipping creatives to up-level their skill sets and build successful businesses so that they can impact the world with the incredible gifts that they carry. Today, I am going to be sharing something very interesting. But before I even do that, I want to just ask you a question. Have you ever been in a situation where you had this great session or you had this great client and you finish going through the session, and then something just goes wrong and it is entirely your fault? Now, it can be that you formatted your card and you have not backed up the images. Maybe you broke something at the client's house. It can be a wedding, and there are different scenarios. And if you've had like the most awkward and the most embarrassing situation or moment when handling your jobs or when handling clients that you have ever experienced that made you want to just say, this ground, open up, I want to jump inside you and I want to just forget about it, I don't want to be a photographer, I don't want to do this thing anymore, like that made you regret either doing that job, taking that job, or even just being a creative or a photographer in the first place, you can share them with us in the comment section. I have had my own share of thinking that you're shooting RAW and shooting all JPEG for a shoot, to formatting the cards when things haven't been backed up well, to your system cards getting corrupt or the drive getting corrupt, or just on that delivering on a service that you have been paid well for, or just not meeting up generally with the expectations of the client. Now the question is, what do you do when you're in that situation? And the truth is, every single person will go through this kind of situation. The type or how it may come to you might just be different, but difficult situations in business is inevitable, and it's important to know what to do when this happens. Now, the first thing is acknowledge that you have messed up. And I think that is so important, because something can go wrong and instead of getting to the place where you acknowledge, you're like, oh, but this should have happened, or they didn't do this when they were supposed to do this, or this. First of all, acknowledge that you probably made a mistake or something did not happen as it should have happened. That acknowledgement is very key to what is going to happen next, because if you take a defensive mode, it's going to influence how you're going to handle that situation, because you are the one that is giving the service. You are the one that have been entrusted with the privilege, to carry on whatever. You're the one that has been paid and entrusted to do something, and you probably did not deliver on that job, or something went wrong on that job. You can't blame anybody, right? The first thing first, as the business owner, as the person that was given that job, is to take ownership and take full responsibility of what has gone wrong and acknowledge that this has happened. Now, the second thing is understand that you are not alone when it comes to bad situations or bad occurrences that happen in businesses. If we don't experience the negative, we can't know what we're going to learn from so that we can be better. The reason why people have experiences or they have, they are better at something is because they have gone through very difficult terrain and they were able to navigate that and they learned how not to do things. So see this as a lesson in disguise, because truly there are no failures, there are only victories or there are lessons. You only win or you learn. So either ways you're winning. So first of all, don't beat yourself so much. It is natural for that to happen, but also understand that you're not alone. What you're experiencing is not unique to only you. There are so many people that have experienced it, right? And this is an opportunity for you to learn. So as much as you acknowledge and you can dwell in those emotions, but first of all, know that you are not alone, and this is an opportunity for you to learn. Because if you don't acknowledge that it's an opportunity for you to learn, you will not look for the lessons. You'll keep looking for things that you could have done better, or how you could have done this better, and all of those things. Now, the third thing is go back and ask yourself some questions to figure out, how did you get to the point where this thing happened? Again, things don't naturally just happen. It's important to sit back and ask, why did this happen? What could I have done better? What could I have changed to ensure that I don't have this outcome? Now, when you analyze all the different things that you could have done better, you now see that, you know what? If I had done this, and this would probably not happen. So that helps you to now know what the lessons are. Then the next question is, what do I need to do to ensure this does not happen again? That's the fourth thing. What do I need to do? Now, this is where you are now taking the lesson. Because this has happened, now these are the actions I am going to now do to ensure this is not going to happen. And I'm going to take, for instance, let's say your card got corrupted in a wedding and you shot the entire wedding in that card, right? Now you have gone through the pain, the cry, and every single thing. And I'm going to give a scenario of mine. In fact, there was, I think in my third year of business, I went for a shoot, and on my way coming back from that shoot, I went into, I think it was Mr. Biggs at that time. I went to go and buy something. And I forgot to, close the boot of the car. By the time I came out, I opened up the boot. My camera bag was gone. My cameras, 2 lenses. In fact, my entire life as a photographer was inside that bag. And somebody came and picked it up, and the person left. I cannot explain the pain. I can't explain the pain, right? So as much as it was painful, I acknowledge first that in as much as I am upset that this guy or whoever it is stole this, but I acknowledge that, see, there is a part that I had to play in this, right? And that's the part that I didn't do something I was like, how do I prevent this from never happening again? And there were different steps that I had to take to ensure that happened. And that part of it is not carrying all the gear at the same time, ensuring that I always have insurance, being more security conscious whenever I go out, because again, you can't just think that because you're going out, you can just carry things anyhow. So the fourth thing is, what do you need to do to ensure this does not happen again? The fifth one is, what do you need to do now, given the situation? Now, it could be that you're not able to deliver this work to these clients. It could be that, something has happened, right? And you need to take responsibility for that. As painful as it may be or sound, you have to take responsibility. And part of taking responsibility is taking action and being the first to talk about that. So, for instance, the card got corrupted and you've done a shoot, and you can't avoid it. You can't sleep it over. You can't talk it over. Whatever happens, you're going to have to approach this client and still tell the person, this is what has happened, right? So the more you avoid, it's like you're postponing the pain or the embarrassment that you're going to give. But again, of course, the manner in which this is communicated is really, really important. Yes, you're acknowledging that this has happened and it never happens. You're apologizing, you're taking full responsibility, and you're telling them what you're going to do going because of this. And it could range from either refunding, ensuring that you're giving them another session, or you're doing something to make up for what you have done wrong. So it's not just enough to say, oh, this is what has happened. Ensure that you have fully articulated, what do you now do? What can you do? What can you do to make up for the wrong that you have done? And give them different options so that they can see that, yes, you have made a mistake, but you're not holding on to it. You're not here, but you're also willing to do what you can to remedy the situation in whichever way. So I hope these 5 points have helped you understand how best to tackle difficult situations that arise when we are dealing with clients. And if you've had a very spectacular situation that has happened, remember to put it in the comment section, share with us so that people can learn from your experience and they can learn how you also handled it. Now, if there are topics that you want us to talk about in Get Better Education's YouTube channel, we want to talk about things that matter to you. So share those topics in the comment section. Share the things that you want to learn about. Share how this has been great or which of the points spoke the most to you. And we'll definitely be taking it from there. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I am so excited about all that we have planned out for you. Remember to subscribe, remember to share, remember to turn on your notifications so that you're the first person to know once we release a video. Thank you so much, and see you in the next video.